in 2014 we became partner in Time Waver. And of course, the Time Waver devices are the kind of pre-devices before Healy started, and they are quite big compared to Healy. A few kilos, and they need a computer, so it's not something for mobile use in an easy way. And obviously, we wanted to have something also to share with the world in a more easy, more usable way. And that was the birth of developing the Healy. And about 2 years ago from now, we were sitting together with the question, well, we have a great product here, but how do we bring this product to the world and to the people? And since it's much easier to convince somebody of a product if you have the person in front of you and tell about and how it's working and show your own results, it's a very obvious product for selling through network marketing. And about 2 years ago, we made the decision, yes, we want to go in a market, in a network market, and sell it there. Because it fits to the product and it fits to the idea. Also, we want to grow fast and give many people very soon the possibility to use the Healy. And it was like 8 or 9 people sitting together at this time, and we made a clear decision. Everybody of us said, yes, that's the right way to go, and that's what we want to do. And then in January 2019, less than 2 years ago, we then really started with the first event in Berlin. And then, a lot of things were going on, and we had a lot of fun and challenges with all the growth.
Well, the rest is history, as you say, no? What happened after that. Christian, you and Marcus had a very nice talk not too long ago in the park of Castle Kranzlin, and we were able to have the possibility to record this with a little camera. And but you're live here today, you were talking about this, but just for all our listeners, you will receive a newsletter with this specific video of Marcus and of Christian, so that you can hear the full length of their vision, their story, and everything around that. So thank you very much for doing this. Christian, you know, when we always talk about the Healy and what goes on with it, you know, we live in times, challenging times where the world is going crazy in one respect or the other. Was there also an intention then when you were thinking about this, the vision you had to improve the consciousness of the people, of also taking their health into their own hands? Was this a driver for you as well?
Yes, generally I love to discover new great things that are obviously having a huge potential, but not many people know about it. And with this technology, the frequencies and the microcurrents and the information field, I saw that there is a technology that brings a lot of help on many, many levels in an easy way to many people. And I believe when we are more healthy, it means we have more possibilities, more abilities. And especially when this becoming more healthy is connected with a higher consciousness, we might be able to not only solve to be healthy, but also to feel better and to achieve more in life. And so it's part of the journey to kind of being successful. You need to be healthy. It's one of the first steps. And I think since the Healy has a very holistic approach, how it works, there is a potential to help in many ways that other technologies might not deliver in the same way. So I really feel passionate about distributing the Healy to the world, and including bringing more consciousness to the people in many different ways.
Yeah, and I think, you know, this is something we saw over the last couple of months, really, that people started to become more conscious what is going on and how they're using the Healy. And this is just an amazing development we have seen with all around the world, really. So, Marcus, let me come to you for a second. Of course, I always say not only the founder of Healy, but also the the inventor and the genius behind the product itself. You know, for me, it's still after all the time, it's an amazing technology we're having in our hands. There's nothing which compares to us in terms of technology or network marketing even. But you also have started with the time waiver. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about where you come from.
Thank you. As you know, this is a long story, and I always have to think where to start it. I would like to start at a point which is not at the beginning at all, but when Christian was speaking, I remembered something which I didn't remember for a long time. It was when I was, I think, 2013. I was on a walk around a beautiful forest lake with my spiritual mentor, who originally initiated me as a monk. This initiation was more than 30 years ago, when I became a monk in an ancient Indian spiritual tradition. And so I was on a walk with him, probably 20 years later, and it was the first time that I explained this idea of having a Healy. That time there was not the name Healy, it was just the idea to have this device which is connected through the mobile phone, through the cloud, and it's actually Healy creating a network itself, and everyone getting the right frequencies, and not only the right frequencies, but accessing the information field. And my spiritual mentor, after listening very carefully to all this, and I have never told him about this before, he said, "This is the fulfillment of the reason why you became a monk." And I was really it was very surprising for me, because I didn't think like this. I thought, okay, it's a consequence of my technical developments. It's making the time waiver very small. It's connecting it to cutting edge technology, you know. But I never thought that it goes so deeply into my spiritual roots. And nowadays I'm much more aware about it, and I'm rethinking it again and again, rethinking where am I coming from, what are my roots, and especially in the last 6 months, I again became so much conscious about that it's really two roots. One is science, and the other is spirituality. And science and spirituality are really two foundations of modern civilization. Even our modern civilization is based on spirituality. All the values which we have in our day-to-day life, they coming from spiritual roots. Values are not self-evident. You cannot just get them from observation, but it's something very deeply rooted within ourselves. And there is no culture, no civilization which is not based in spirituality. And additionally, our modern civilization is based on science. If a government decides certain things, nowadays they don't ask the priests anymore, they don't ask the monks, they ask the scientists, you know. And that's a big responsibility for the scientists, because they are very biased. They only see one side of reality, what you can see with science, what you can measure. So there is an enormous responsibility for the scientists to be also spiritual, because this is the other side of reality. So this integration of science and spirituality is one of the biggest challenges which we have, I think, for survival as a global civilization, as humanity, which is not just a collection of nations anymore, but confronting global problems, exponentially growing global problems, like you know all of them, about the climate, about the destruction of the environment, about even us human beings being able to handle the technology which we have created. You know, what our brain has to process as informations, everything is growing exponentially. And I strongly believe that we can only handle this if these two important roots of civilization, science and spirituality, they find a common ground. And these are, for me, two core values for Healy. Healy is based on science. Therefore, we are investing into research. Therefore, it's a scientific product. If we improving the Healy, if we are creating new products, new protocols and programs, everything is evidence-based. It's based on science, and but because Healy also has this hidden aspect of assessing the information field, and it's not even so hidden because the frequencies, they are not coming from anywhere. Of course, like shortly talking about a different thing, because most of the programs of Healy are of bioenergetic nature. This means that the frequencies from the microcurrent frequencies, they are coming from the information field. They are not fixed in the protocols, but they are chosen by a process where quantum processes are involved and where consciousness is involved and intention is involved. So at the very heart, whenever Healy applies a frequency, it connects to the information field, and this is related to the intention. So intention is very important. The intention, why you use Healy, that's very important. Even the intention, if you give a Healy to others, I believe in our whole network, this intention to give the Healy to others. Okay, there's one intention is to sell a Healy. There might be another intention to get a new member, but this is okay. This is okay, but the main intention shall be help the person. Give the Healy to them because it will benefit them. If you don't believe it, forget about Healy. Don't give it to others. It's not worth exchanging some electronics against money. This is not our business. Our business is really to have this intention to help people, and in this way create a very, very strong field of intention. If Martin sitting next to me has an intention and I have an intention, and there are so many having the same intention, it's like vectors which show into the same direction. It creates a very, very strong field. This is something like what we call the information field. Information field is a field of intention. So this is something which is growing. Slowly it's growing. The Healy network, it's an amazing field of intention to change the world. It's change the world. What does it mean? It's not only helping people to be more in their well-being, in their health. This is one aspect. But the other aspect is to help people connect to themselves. I think the biggest problem we're having on this planet is that people are disconnected from self. They are disconnected from themselves. Means the main part of them, of us, is unconscious. We are just on the surface of consciousness. We build our life. And connecting through the frequencies to the information field helps us to connect to ourselves. Because if we say we want to increase consciousness, what does it mean? It means in the very first place to become conscious about what we really are, about this great aspect of us which is right now unconscious, and which is finally not even ourselves anymore, but this is where we are one with everyone else on this planet. So connecting to the information field through the frequencies means connecting to ourselves, but also connecting to our fellow human beings, and not only to the human beings, also to the animals, to the soul of the planet. It's all about reconnecting.
Thank you, Marcus. Christian, I want to come back to you for a second again, and because I know that you always support very, very good projects, especially I know that you have a chain of vegan restaurants very successfully, and when we look at Healy, we're not only promoting Healy frequencies for life, but we also say nutrition for life and mobility for life. So what does that mean for you to look at also this as a holistic approach, that it's not just frequencies, but also all the other things you can contribute?
Well, the information field technology, I think, is something that has a huge potential because it, as Marco said, it helps us to reconnect. And reconnect also, to me, means we are all creators, basically. We are not just machines. And when we are more connected to us, it means that it increases our ability to create. And when we create out of this inner connection, then we will create something that is useful for everybody. So it helps also other people. And that's what I believe is important when you have a vision, that you have a vision that is not just good for you, for the ego, or for one person or a small group, but it's good for the whole life, for everybody. That's one of the reasons why I also do the vegetarian and vegan restaurants, because I believe there is a lot of benefit for us, for our health, for the animals, for the planet. So it has many, many positive aspects. And with Healy, I think we are just beginning, not only with the network, but also with the discovery of the possibilities. So we do a lot of research, and I guess Marcus and Martin will present something later on. But there is a huge potential, and like when you view our brain, we have left and right brain, we have logic and creativity, and we have much more than just logic. And I believe we will discover what are the possibilities, and by each individual decision that everybody makes, we co-create the network and we co-create the world. So I think it's not only a challenge, it's also amazing discovery what we will discover through this process, because we know what we create, but we will see what all the others create together with us.
Thank you very much, Christian. Marcus, Christian mentioned already a little bit the research part, and I know you have been working the last couple of months on especially this topic. Maybe you want to share a little bit what you were working on.
Yes, lots and everything actually connected to Healy is based on experience, because we didn't start Healy in an empty space, but it was based on how many years of experience with the professional frequency devices. 10 years? Yeah, I think 10 years. 2017. Healy came first time into public in summer 2017. I still remember it like today. And it was our 10th anniversary. Healy appeared on the 10th anniversary of Time Waver. So that's this was very auspicious. And so we didn't start with just some studies or something, but we actually started with 10 years of experience to work with the information field and work with frequencies. So this gave us this very strong confidence. And now it's already 3 years, and so many things happened in this time. And Martin will present recent case studies which have been done with Healy, with practitioners taking care of patients or people for 6 to 8 weeks. But that's not the real situation in which Healy is used. The real situation is people use Healy for themselves. There is no practitioner around, but they just use it for themselves. So what we are really interested in is the personal feedback from the people. What does it do with them? How does it help them? How does it improve their life situation, their well-being, their sleeping, and so on? And Martin will also speak about all this experience and the surveys which have been done in the last weeks and months for us to confirm that we are absolutely on the right way. And so there's a lot of things going on. Martin will talk more technical about it. Another thing which we have done in the last months is looking very deeply into what actually microcurrent frequencies are doing with us. if we apply current frequency to our arm or to our body or from arm to arm, and we are applying different frequencies, what do they do? And there's one very there's a way to look at this. How to say? We are applying frequencies with current, and the effect we can measure again with testing what frequencies do within the body. Now I have to get to the PowerPoint presentation, because otherwise it's too abstract. Exactly. Where is it? Yes. Thank you very much. You saved me, because I want to show you something where pictures are easier. Because we're talking a lot about the cell, and we are interested in the bioenergetic state of the cell. So a cell can look like this, not very happy, and here's a more happy cell. So what kind of parameters are there to test if the cells of a tissue are in a good bioenergetic state or not? So there's, from the literature and from the research which has been done in the last decade, the last 10 to 15 years, there is one method described which we have adopted, and this is measuring the phase angle. The phase angle of a tissue is a bioenergetic health indicator, and it depends on how does a cell react if it is confronted with electrical potential or with a current. So the cell can be shifting the phase of the current, or it can keep the phase of the current as it is. For example, here the phase as a cell which is in a not so good bioenergetic state. If here a signal comes to the cell goes through the cell as it is. If the cell is in a better bioenergetic state, the signal comes to the cell, and the phase of the response of the cell is shifted, and the shift is called the phase angle. It's a technical value which you can measure. So that's all what I would like to say, and there are different ways how to measure it. And we started first with using a bioimpedance analyzer, which is something very common. Bioimpedance analyzer you find in many households. If you go on your scale where your body weight is measured, the modern ones, they also measure the bioimpedance to tell you what is the fat, what the percentage of fat in your body and water and so on. But this one is a much more precise, allows a much more precise measurement. So we have used it to measure the phase angle, which is the response of the cell to electrical current, and which is an indicator for the bioenergetic health, the bioenergetic state of the cell. And so we have done a lot of experiments with this to see what response is there in the body towards microcurrent frequencies. And a second step in our experiments is using a bioimpedance spectrometer. And the difference between these two is that the easy version just measures the response of the cell for one frequency. And with this, you can simultaneously measure the response of the cells to 50 million frequencies, starting with 1 hertz to 50 megahertz. So that's really what we want, because with Healy, we are using a symphony of frequencies, starting with 0.1 hertz, going through 1000 hertz, going through up to 1 megahertz. So that's really a very, very interesting device which we can use. But we started simple, looking at the response to single frequencies, and this is the way how we started the experiments to measure at the arm length the bioimpedance, and from this calculate the phase angle. And we did it in the beginning with 15 people. So this 15 you find here, each in a different color. For 10 minutes relaxing. So we got them sitting always in the same relaxing chair and just measured after 5 and after 10 minutes the bioenergetic condition of the cell. And that's good. If someone is just sitting down and relaxing, here we see that the phase angle is just reducing very slightly. For some it stays as it is, for most, but for some people it goes a little down. But altogether it doesn't change too much. It's more like relaxing. If we relax, our cells relax. So what we can conclude, maybe the cell membrane potential is going a little down. So then we started to apply microcurrent frequency. We started with a very low frequency of 50 Hertz to see what happens. And this is what happens within 30 minutes. With 15 people, it happened in all cases, here it's adding up, that the phase angle is increasing significantly, very significantly. And that's very interesting. Without, in the 15 cases which we measured in the beginning, was always the same tendency. And then after 30 minutes, we abruptly stopped to apply the microcurrent frequency. So what happened? Here, I go to next. Nothing. Of course something happened, but you don't see a change anymore of the phase angle. So that's very interesting. In the beginning, in the relaxing period, it's stable, actually it's going a little down, but then if you apply specific frequencies with very low microcurrent, the phase angle is going up, which is an indicator for the bioenergetic condition of the cell. And then it stays, if you stop it, it stays constant, but on a higher level. So that's a very interesting result, and this encouraged us a lot to go deeper with the spectrometer, which is a bioimpedance spectroscopy, a very modern device which can measure the bioimpedance within a very short period, up to 50 megahertz. So this is the measurement on the left side, you see, with the sticking electrodes. The response is measured. And here you see the situation that Healy is applied to the same electrodes. And here again, it's measured. So in the beginning, there's a measurement. Then there is an application of actually we use the program Healy, the energy program of the gold cycle. And then again measuring the spectrum. And here you find one of the graphs which we got on the right side in the bottom. You see a lower curve. This is before the measurement, before the application of the energy program, and after. Before and after. So there is a slight but significant shift of the phase angle, especially in the middle spectrum between, this is I think 1000 Hertz and 100,000 Hertz. So then if we look at different people, it's very interesting that each person has its own signature. Some people react in the low frequencies, other people react in the middle frequencies, but in the very high frequencies, people don't react. So we are actually using frequencies in Healy up to 1 megahertz, which is 1,000, let's say, 10,000, 100,000, 1 megahertz. So actually, you don't see my mouse. But with this method, we can see the response of the organism towards frequencies. And our general observation with these experiments is that the phase angle increases all over the spectrum. And the phase angle is very closely related to the bioenergetic state of the cell. So this is something which we found in the literature already about microcurrent, but we were very happy that we could also confirm this with the frequencies which we are using. So now we are doing lots of experiments because now we have the equipment to actually test what the frequencies do on a certain level of the body. This is some current research going on, and we are preparing the first publication on it, and then going farther and also publishing it. Another thing we are starting parallelly is also about looking into a frequency spectrum, but of the brain. On Monday, we're starting working with the 16-channel EEG, and there were already preliminary tests which show something very interesting, which was not so clear to us. But even if we apply frequencies to the arms, to the wrist, the frequencies are visible in the EEG, in the brain waves. And that's very good because we know very good frequencies which have a positive effect on meditation, for example. They are known from literature, or for relaxation, or for improving creativity. So there are frequencies from studies, but we don't have to apply them at the head. This is very good. So we are doing all this kind of research parallelly right now, and I'm very happy that we could actually establish also a laboratory here in the castle, so that I don't have to travel somewhere, but I can just go down from my tower where we are sitting now to the first floor and visit our laboratory. And I like to play, so I'm so happy about it. It's something actually quite serious. It's something which makes to me it's a lot of fun, because otherwise the last 6 months I spent a lot of time in doing working on the theory behind Healy, because to look at what microcurrent frequencies are doing in the body, you can do measurements, you can do tests, you can work on the basis of models, how the ions go through the body, how electrons affect the cells, and there's a lot of publications and knowledge about it. But now, looking at the higher frequencies, what is the effect of higher frequencies? This is something which there's hardly any research on it. And how does it affect the bioenergetic field and so on? So I have developed a model to explain how frequencies can help to influence our bioenergetic field, our information field, and I've written a lot about it. So this is something which I'm doing parallel to it, and I'm planning to write also a book which is available for public, because the other things are mainly going into scientific publications.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Yeah, because, at the end of the day, we are a medical device. We want to be a medical device, even in markets which are still to come or where we are not yet. And maybe also some good news. We besides all the medical licenses we already have in the US, European Union, in some other countries, we just received a medical license, like, for example, in Australia, in Ukraine. We're working on many, many more. And I think what you do, Marcus, is very important for all of us, our users, our members, our leaders who work with the Healy, because we're a scientific, proven product, and we need much more basic groundwork, scientific work. So thank you very much for laying this brick wall for our product, Marcus.
Yeah, thank you, because you mentioned the medical aspect of it, because in each country the medical certification is different. It's very important for our members to understand that medical certification is always only granted for a certain indication, or certain indications, depends on the country. But all the other applications of Healy are actually not medical, but they are meant for increasing the well-being or different other aspects. And so having a medical device is something great, but it means also that our members, and especially our members, need to be very well educated in how to present it. But I think, especially in the US, the members are very aware about this.
Well, thank you very much, Marcus. Thank you very much, Christian, for your support here. As we have Martin with us next to Marcus,
yes.
We have actually, because we have done much more things, and Martin, you're here. Hi, Martin. To share a little bit more about what we have done in regards on laying more groundwork. I don't want to say much more. I want to leave that to you.
Yes. So basically, all theory behind Healy and all the measurements we did is not practical. So what we said and what we wanted to do was, okay, let's put this theory to the test. So we were encouraged by the measurements. We saw it works. So we said, okay, now let's put it to a real test with practitioners. So we had 2 practitioners who were actually using 10 or more patients or clients, which were then given a survey basically before and every week and after the Healy application. So we said, okay, how is your well-being, how is your energy state, and so on. And when you share the presentation, perfect, then we see what actually came out of it. So as you can see, all the values basically went up. So management of symptoms, stress tolerance, emotional energy, physical energy, they all increased. And as we can see, in the first study with 16 participants and about 6 weeks' time, you see that the emotional energy went up, the mental energy, the stress tolerance, and also, of course, the overall improvement. So we actually saw that all applications of Healy that they basically proposed to their clients were done and were also improving their overall state. So what this is about is basically the first, putting it to a test, putting it to a proof, actually to see proof of concept. Then in the next study, which was parallel with a complete different practitioner for 8 weeks, we saw basically exactly the same things. There was an overall improvement which went up, stress tolerance went up. For example, sleep behavior was more or less linear, but also improving a little. So that's what came out of those studies. So at the end of the day, we said this is proof to go on. So the next step is to do the same study with more practitioners, actually double-blinded, so that we can have an even more objective outcome of all Healy applications. So can you please go to the next slides or presentation?
Here you are, Martin.
Excellent, thank you. Of course, all those surveys that we did, or not the surveys, all the studies we did are just for well-being and enhancing your bioenergetic state, basically, not for medical purposes. So that's what is in our certification, and that's a different part. We already have this in a clinical evaluation, so we don't need to prove it again. And what else we did? So we did surveys, and there I need to go back where Marcus already went before. So 2017. So 2017, we decided, okay, how do we, or we were in progress of how do we actually get Healy to the people? And we said, okay, Healy, it's a medical device, let's give it to our practitioners, to our professional users. So we went out and said, okay, 2017, here to our network of practitioners and professional users, here is a new product, you can use it with your clients, they can take it with them at home, they can easily use it at home, and you can give them the programs they need to improve their well-being. And then after 1 year, we said, okay, let's see how it actually works. So back then we said, okay, let's give a small incentive and send out a survey. So we encourage people to actually answer our questions. And what came out of it was almost shocking, because we had such good results that we were a little unsure how we should go on. So is really selling or giving the product only to our professional users the right way? Or are we actually ready to give it to the whole world, to give it to every client everywhere in the world, and actually use it as an end customer product? And that's what we actually decided on. As Marcus said, 2019 in January, we started the Healy Social Selling Network. And there we were very conscious about what we are giving basically to the world, because we had all this experience from our practitioners. And after, I don't know, 1.5 years, we decided, now let's see what end clients actually experience with Healy. And that was the next big leap, I would say. And so we did a survey in Europe, in English and German, and the rest of the world except USA, because the market is very new. And now we changed our survey, not only to have a more precise outcome, but also we didn't give any incentive. We said, okay, we want to get a survey which is as objective as possible. So there we found out that actually Healy was used by 70% of all people that answered the survey multiple times a day. And as you can see, almost 90 or more than 90% are using it at least once a week or even more. So that was very encouraging for us. And in the next step, we've answered, there's something wrong with my connection, wait a second. We answered for the improvement for pain relief. I actually can't see it because, wait a second. Yeah, this is for pain relief as far as I can see. Yes. And we asked how good is Healy for pain relief? So that's also very FDA cleared. So that's the indication we have for US market. And as you can see, over 90% of all people said, okay, I had an improvement. And 27% of the people said we have a strong improvement. So that's quite something. And the funny thing is, or the interesting thing is, the survey we have in our company presentation, which is the old survey we did back then with the practitioners, showed the same result. So it was exactly the same result back then as we have now. So just a little difference in the numbers, but the same picture. Now we also ask, of course, what's the effect of Healy on your well-being? So all the other applications we have in the Healy, and there we have the same thing. So basically over 70% said they had an improvement. And again, 27% said they had a strong improvement. And then we went on to the bioenergetic state, or the energetic state. So this was a more difficult question for the users, of course. So only 661 actually answered this question. So what is your energetic state? So that's a little more difficult. But here you see the same thing. More than 90% actually had an improvement in their energetic state. So the question for us, which we now included in this survey the first time, was how many applications does it actually need to get a positive feedback or a positive change in your life? Or how long does it take that Healy has a positive impact? And there you can see that over 80% only need maximum 10 applications and they have a positive change. So that is perfect for us as a ground base to have basically a starting point at what point we can answer or can question basically the people what improvement do you have and at what time do you have. So then we send out a survey, that's what we are planning on, to send out a survey when you get the Healy, and to send out a second survey after, now we know, 10 days, maximum 14 days, how did your state improve? And that's basically our ground base to go on with our research to make Healy much better over the years and also in the short term. And at the end, of course, the most important is, would you recommend Healy to others? And there we have almost 90% would recommend it to Healy. And that's what we see. That's a network marketing product, because network marketing is all about recommendation. It's all about showing someone something, letting them experience something, and then they want to buy, and then we can share Healy all over the world.
Well, thank you very much, Martin. If I go back one slide, what you told us here with the 64-21%, this is also a very big argument for us, a very big part, because if we compare other networks where you sell nutritional supplements and all this and said, okay, trust us, take this for 6 months and you might have an improvement. Now here, within a very short time frame, people will have an experience and will see a change. This is also a game changer for us in how we do our business. So thank you very much, Martin, for presenting this. And also the numbers were not really changing. It's only that the surveys are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. More people are participating in the surveys. And that for us is a really, really good thing. But Martin, when we talk about the future also, because how do we bring this into how do we lay a scientific base through a survey for the future?
Yeah, so when we talk about the future, we have a 3-phase plan basically. So the first.
Martin, could you switch on your camera, please?
Yeah, I want to switch it on, but the connection is so slow at the moment.
Okay. I don't want to lose you. That's okay.
Yeah, sorry for that, but somehow I don't know why the connection is bad now. In the morning it was good, but now it's lost a little performance. So what we have is a 3-phase plan. So in the first phase, we will implement what I just told, that we have, it's back, that we have a survey that we send out at the beginning of your Healy experience, and then after 14 days. So we get from all users that will have Healy, we get an immediate feedback and also very broad feedback, of course. And that makes it very objective at the end of the day, because then the bigger the number is, the better the objectivity gets. The second phase is that we do the studies with our partners. So worldwide, we had a lot of questions from clinics, from universities, from bigger institutes. You have a great product. Why don't you do studies with it? So what's holding you back? And then we said, okay, we first want to see how. In which direction we want to direct our studies and what makes the most sense. Because if you start a study, you're investing not only a lot of money, but also a lot of time. So investing 1, 2, 3, up to 5 years. And then at the end, you see, did it work or didn't it work? So, and also, of course, we wanted a dedicated team internally to actually take on the task. So we have lots of external people who are helping us with studies and so on. But in my opinion, if you don't do it yourself internally, then you will not finish, or it's not only worth half of what you actually can get. And recently, so not recently, today, I had an interview with a team. So basically, long year team who were doing studies for pharma industry and so on, and they are very committed to join us. So I hope that actually comes true, because we are now getting a lot of people internally which say, okay, I'm working in a big company, I have a good income, and the next 20, 30 years I'm basically settled. But they say, but I don't want this. I don't want to work in a company where there's no change and where there's no purpose behind it. So they actually join us, and we want to change something. We want to bring new things into the world, and we want to bring health or well-being to everyone that we are working for. Basically, they're working for us and bringing positive things in the world. And in the third phase, which is the most interesting phase for us, we had a workshop with our developers, which developed Healy as a medical product. And they said, okay, we have this whole server structure, we have everything in place. Why don't we implement that? We, on the one hand, see what everyone does, so it's anonymized, so we don't know who did those things, but we know that they were done. So what programs were used, then we can analyze the whole metadata and see, okay, what is the applications that actually are used most from our surveys and our own studies with our practitioners. We see what is actually benefiting the people most, and then we are implementing this into the apps. So there you can actually participate in a study through the apps and on a big scale. So not only 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, we can make cohorts, how you say it. We can make contracts basically with all those people. And the beauty of it is you don't need to blind the therapist or the practitioner, because there is no practitioner. So you have a very, very objective outcome of your studies. And when you actually give people then the possibility, which we will implement, to give a decent feedback on a study-based design, then you actually have an objective feedback how which or what programs works for what person or for what magnitude of persons in which way. And that's the next step to actually improve also our programs in a big scale. So we know exactly what happens, what helps, and then also get our international studies with our institutes to get this very focused, so we don't lose a lot of time on the wrong track.
Well, thank you very much, Martin, and of course also Marcus, for continuing to lay a good scientific groundwork here. And I think all our members really appreciate that. They appreciate we are a medical device. I don't think they're using the medical claims so much anymore, but it helps as a security, as a sign to show that we are a medical device. So thank you for everything you have done, Marcus, and of course also Christian, both our founders of Healy World. And thanks for participating today with us here in the Frequency Friday. Of course, we have great field leaders here with us, and they all joined now over time. I think technically we have a little bit of challenging situation today. So let me welcome back our top leaders, some of our top leaders from the US. Stephen Keller, here he is. He has his camera on again. Ryan Conley and Sarah Rodriguez. Sarah, could you switch on your camera? And Ryan, there you are. Hi, Sarah. Thank you. Hi, Ryan. So, it was a lot of scientific background theory, but you were living the practice part of Healy for the last couple of months, since 1st of May, since we opened the US. And all of you, as you are here, have been tremendously successful in building a business with Healy. And as I would say, ladies first, I would start with Sarah in this regard. Dear Sarah, you have been incredibly successful. You have built an amazing business. You're amongst the top earners in the US. So when you think back the last 5 months, it was probably also a little bit of a roller coaster going up and down. And maybe you want to share a little bit about with us your story and what made you so successful building a Healy business.
Well, I believe my team has helped me to become so successful, and I appreciate all of them. But last night, I wrote out some thoughts that have been on my heart and that I would like to share with you. First of all, I want to thank each of you, distributors and corporate, for being part of the Healy movement that has been so tremendous. In the years ahead, I believe we will make a very significant impact on millions of lives around the world. But in this last 7 months, we have seen the entire world struggle. And this struggle has taken a toll on nations, countries, companies, and individuals. While Healy has experienced the changes faced by other companies going through the pandemic, we have also faced the typical challenges of a startup company. And the fact that Healy has seen such tremendous growth in the middle of the struggle is clear evidence of the fact that our product is very special and warmly embraced around the world. And the fact that we are getting our systems and business structure stronger every day is evidence that our management team is on a mission to make Healy a world-class company. Now, just for fun, I would like for you all to imagine with me that you see a ragged little caterpillar clinging to a branch of a tree. And if you could watch long enough, you would see the caterpillar spin a cocoon around itself. And if you could watch even longer through an X-ray or scanner, you would see that inside the safety of the cocoon, the caterpillar miraculously transforms into a butterfly. Unknown to the observer is that deep inside the caterpillar is the blueprint to become a butterfly. When the butterfly is ready to emerge, you can see the butterfly struggle and begin kicking and try to gain its freedom. While watching the struggle, you might think it would be helpful to cut the cocoon open to free the butterfly. And the amazing thing is that if you free the butterfly so it would not have to struggle, you would actually kill the butterfly. So it is this struggle that the butterfly goes through to free itself that causes the blood flow to go to the wings and enables it to fly. The struggle is actually what gives that butterfly life. And as with the butterfly emerging from the chrysalis, we are continuously refined. We are all in the process somewhere. We all continue to all strive to become a butterfly. The struggle that the world is going through, the struggle that Healy has gone through, and the struggle that each of us is going through, this will serve to make us stronger and enable us to help thousands of others, because inside each of us is a blueprint for greatness. As a world, as a country, as a company, and as individuals, will we experience more challenges? Absolutely. But just like the butterfly, the way we respond to these challenges will determine if we fly. Every day, we need to ask ourselves, how can we learn from the challenges? And how can we help others? Millions around the world need better health. Millions need a home-based business. And millions of people want to do something that makes a difference in the world. With Healy, we had the ultimate vehicle to help others achieve their maximum potential with their health and with their finances. And that is the bottom line. Right now, I would like to personally thank everyone. Thank Marcus and Christian for providing this opportunity. Thank you, Frank. You have been so wonderful to us. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you, Karsten, my sponsor. And a big thank you to all of my team, with big hugs to Carrie Perez for doing such an amazing job, and for Lynn Theobald as well, Paul Morris and Michael Martin with their dedication to Healy. And a very special thank you to each and every one of you in the Healy family. Together, we can change the world.
Thank you very much, Sarah. Very well said. I'm very, very grateful for your words, and very grateful for your leadership you have been bringing to Healy World. Let's, Sarah, stay on with us. I want to bring, actually, can you hear us? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I want to bring actually Stephen into the conversation, and Ryan, because you two are also one amongst our top leaders, amongst the top income earners. But you also, both of you, have one more thing in common. Actually, you're amongst our top personal recruiters in the US. You have both personally recruited almost 200 people by yourself. So congratulations on that. It's an amazing number, considering that the market in the US is open now since 1st of May. So I think this is a worldwide record in Healy World. So congratulations on that. Stephen, coming to you quickly. What is the specialty you think Healy World provides for you as a business owner, and what do you think? What would you say made you successful?
Sure. A couple things. My background is that I'm kind of a certified energy healing coach, and I also mentor a lot of coaches all over the world, and have seen the tremendous benefit of it. But what I do was never very scalable. It's hard to learn. And so when I looked at Healy, I didn't really initially see it as a business opportunity. I realized that this device could do much of what I do for people. They could do it on their own. And that got me very excited. And one of the things that actually helped me was when I started doing Healy, I was actually very, very busy. I was very busy with my own practice. I was also very busy in the middle of moving from Texas to South Carolina, going from a home to a small apartment. And so I didn't have much time. And so because I didn't have a lot of time, it forced me to build my business from the very beginning in a way that was very scalable. Okay. And so when I built my business, I realized that there's always 4 questions that prospects ask themselves as they're looking at Healy. And if they can answer these 4 questions, yes, then they're much more likely to join. And those 4 questions are, can I do what you're doing? So in presenting Healy to people, I had to keep it very, very simple. Kind of the saying is high tech, low check. Okay. So I never talked much with people. I would send them very simple videos. I'd let the videos do the work for me. So people saw, I could, if you send a video and build a business, I could send a video and build a business, right? So the second question people ask themselves is, do I have the time? Because everyone's very busy. And again, I had very little interaction with people. I didn't spend a lot of time on the phone, not a lot of time explaining it. If they asked me a question, I would simply send another resource to answer it. So they could see that they could build their business with in a very little amount of time. The second thing people ask themselves is they go, will I get help? People, when they look at starting a new business, they want to know that they're not in it on their own, that if they have questions or problems, that they don't have to always be able to answer everything for everyone. So as I built my business, I always pointed to that I had an upline team helping me, that there was a Facebook group that would help people, that there were resources that people could go to so people could see that they're not on their own. And the fourth thing is people want to know, they ask themselves, would I do what you're doing to me, to my friends and family? In other words, we have kind of real responsibility in this industry to do network marketing in a way that honors friendships and relationships. And the more people are comfortable with saying no to you, the more likely they are to say yes. So I always, in building my business, I always try to keep it very comfortable, very low pressure. Always told people, hey, look, our friendship and relationship is much more important than this product or business. But I thought you might at least like to look at it. And that's kind of the very basics I followed. And in doing that, the thing to understand is when you're recruiting someone, you're also at the same time training them as well. because they will simply take exactly what you're doing and duplicate it in your organization. And so doing that, that allowed not only me to recruit, I think, 184 people since I first found out about Healy in mid-April, but also the thing that really impressed me is our team has grown. And the very simple thing people have to understand about Healy as a business opportunity is I've done network marketing for, goodness, 25 years. It is easier for me to sell a $2,500 Healy device than it is to sell a $100 bottle of supplements. You don't have to be a math genius, right, to figure out that becomes a very good business opportunity. Part of it is because when people look at Healy, they realize the benefit, and when they compare it to something else, they're not comparing it to a similar price thing. They're comparing it to something $10,000 to $40,000 that's very complicated and hard to use. And so it's been stunningly easy and wonderful to build a business. And the thing that's gotten me excited as we've gone on is, it may sound weird, but I'm not super motivated financially. If you tell me you have a great business for me that I'll make a lot of money, I'm like, yeah, that sounds boring, right? This helping people with their health, when I realized that it could impact them, their spiritual health, their mental health, their physical health, was tremendously exciting to me. And that's what people want to see. They if you build your business, they want to see the white hot enthusiasm. They need to also hear the music in your voice as you're building your business. So the more you can actually have very brief conversations with people, or they can actually hear the passion in your voice, also very helpful as well. So,
was it also like an effect for you compared to nutritional supplements, which you give someone and say, take it 6 months and then let's see if it works, compared to a Healy where people with the first, second, third application really see a very fast effect? Was this an influence?
Absolutely, that's very important. Partially, one of the great things to understand, if you're able to demonstrate the product to people, and by the way, I signed up almost everybody before I even got my device. So sometimes people will say, well, I don't have my device, I can't build my business. That's not true at all. Now, if you have the device, will it make it easier? Absolutely. And there's a couple of simple steps to understand when you have the device and how it will allow you to build your business. Number one, if you have a Healy resonance and you can do a scan for somebody, a lot of times people look at the scan, they're like, that is amazing. I'm like, I want one right now. How does that freaky device know that about me? It blows their mind. So that's step one. Step two, in person, you may allow them to use it. Maybe a mental program or a program for physical discomfort. And a lot of times they'll feel the benefit very quickly there. The next step is if you have an extra device and you can lend it to them, like we've seen every day they have the device, the more they use it, the more likely they are to say, wow, it worked for me, I have to have it. And so this does a couple things. One is too often in network marketing, we ask people to spend a lot of time outside their comfort zone being professional salespeople and to stay outside their comfort zone until they build a large business. And that's very challenging for people. And that's why a lot of times in network marketing, you see a huge emphasis placed on personal development, because we have to make you become a better person so you can actually handle the process of doing the business, which is challenging for some people. But when you have a device that will actually do the selling for you, it becomes much easier, and it allows people to operate their business in their comfort zone, right? And the person you're presenting it to can also see, oh, I could do that. Oh, running a scan for someone, letting them use it, that seems simple, easy, right? People won't think I'm weird. People won't be, uncomfortable with the process. So that's absolutely important. Yeah, and I've sold some amazing supplements over the years, but some of the results I've seen with what the Healy will do for people is stunning. And I would, in keeping simple, I would like to say one important thing. It's easy for people to get too complicated with Healy and talk about things that we can't really talk about. But it's not really necessary. You see someone with a serious health condition, it may sound weird. They're not really concerned about that they have the health condition. What they're concerned about is they don't feel well. They're not sleeping well. They don't have the mental clarity. they have some physical discomfort. If you can show them that the device will help them feel a little better, have a little bit more energy, have a little more mental clarity, which is all in compliance, then they're happy to use the device. If you start talking to them about their medical conditions, then the conversation becomes a very complicated one. It gets out of compliance. It kills your ability to grow your business, because now people are talking to doctors, they want to see research, it gets super complicated. And it's not only bad for your business, it's bad for the future of our company, because you expose us to legal issues as well. So,
well, I love everything you said, Stephen. I couldn't agree more. And success proves you right. Keep it sweet and simple. And I know that we all want to know much more about the technology and how the frequencies work and all this. And an advanced leader who can handle this knowledge, but somebody who's starting today would overwhelm all this. So I love your insight on that. Thank you very much, Stephen.
I probably have a lot of people in my business who understand the technology much more than I do. To some extent, I actually am very careful in not learning too much about it, and they might sound weird, because I know I'll be tempted to share that information instead of, a simple thing I like to say is, if your lips are moving, your fingers should be pointing. In other words, you shouldn't be impressing someone with your technical knowledge. If I build my business and people like me, but they don't think I'm super smart, then I'm doing it right, actually. They're like, well, if he can do it, then certainly I can do it as well. So that's what I want to impress people. So.
Yeah, that's a way to look at it. Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stephen. Let's jump to Ryan. Ryan, hi, how are you? Well, you have been in the same ballpark than Stephen with enrollment of members. Do you want to share a little bit how you did it?
I think the first thing, Frank, is to have your own personal experience and really use the Healy a whole bunch. I didn't get into Healy. Healy found me, and that was a beautiful thing. I've spoken to a lot of people at Healy that they weren't looking for another income stream. And it's always a blessing to come across people that when they find Healy, it just resonates so much with them that they feel it through everything in their body. And they really get it, even though they may not understand the technology or understand exactly what it will do. It's just something about, the spiritual component and also the testimonials that people have using the technology that they just become a firm believer. And I think that's a lot more easy to believe in, instead of being like on an auto ship with different companies out there and taking numerous kind of supplements. So I agree with what Steve said. And I just want to say, first of all, thank you for just the leadership of this company. I couldn't have built this business without the great leadership and everything that you guys are doing at the forefront of this. And yes, we've had our turbulences through this path, but I know that we're on the right track, and that's been a blessing to watch our businesses grow so much at this time. But I'd say, first of all, the biggest thing is having your own personal testimony when it comes to the technology. I didn't even know what a Hertz was before I got involved in Healy, and it's been interesting learning more about that. And I was listening to you and Marcus, and so you know more about the science than a lot of us distributors. We become more knowledgeable about this, and Healy just really changed my life. Special shout out to Sarah Rodriguez, and also Martin Smith and Stefano Gabato, and all the great leadership, because I couldn't have done this without them. And also to our team members underneath. This is like any other network marketing company. This is about duplication and about keeping it very simple to build the business. And so how I built my business, nearly recruiting about 200 people, and now my team's almost 21,000 people. It just absolutely exploded. First of all, you want to all I did was share this simple video, the 2.5-minute video, which is the one with the piano and talking about love. And, I really love that video. And some people may build their business off of other videos, but for me, this is the one that resonates the most with me. And I just love it because I think it's a real eye-opener when it comes to spirituality and also science. And all I do it was a numbers game. Sales is a numbers game. But the first of all thing that you want to do is have that deep belief, beyond the money, is to help other people out there. And during this time, there's never been more of a divine time with the whole COVID situation and people resonating at a lower vibration. where it's been so necessary for us to raise our vibration and feel more positive and really focus on, going within and having peace within. And so the Healy device, I've just noticed I feel happier and more focused. And so when I talk to other people about this, they see that. And also I think there's a long time, there's inside them, they know that there's a lot of people out there that feel the same way right now. So showing that 2.5-minute video, raising your frequency, just like a radio station, and changing the dial, who doesn't want to experience like a little bit of a change, right? So all I send is a simple thing through Facebook. I like to do it through Facebook because it pops up as like, it shows the video, and I say, hello, so-and-so, have you seen this 2.5-minute video? And once they watch this 2.5-minute video, their typical response is interesting. And if their response is interesting, I just simply ask them, is it okay if I, could we set a time to talk more about this? And just like Stephen said, not to bombard them with so much information, because in the back of their mind, subconsciously, they're thinking, is this something that I can do? Because there's a lot of, as network marketers, we spend a lot of time out there trying to explain things, and it just can be overwhelming when I hear people talking about supplements and going on about this ingredient and that. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm not a doctor. I didn't go to school for this at all. But it's my experience and those experiences that people have working with the Healy, where it makes it easy to share with others. So sending out that 2.5-minute video, then I simply just ask them, do you mind if I send you a follow-up email with some more information? And I have that simple email that all it has is about 5 pages that I took from the Healy back office of the different studies for different conditions where frequency has had an impact on. And most of the time people know of other people that are going through these situations, or they can also relate personally that this is a device that could assist them with what they're dealing with. So, and then also having a support group as well. I think that our Superhuman Frequencies group, which I started a long time ago now, about 15 months ago, is now about to 8,000 people. And so constantly we're adding about 30 plus people to that group every single day. And there's lots of support out there, which people need to grow their business. So I just want to encourage with any network marketing company, of course, there's the power in the 3-way phone call. And as you're sending out those videos, the people that are interested in it, just connecting to them to the upline. I think everyone that joins Healy should be able to talk to at least another person in the upline so they can hear it a second way, and I rely on like Martin Smith and Stefano Gabato. Find those people out there that are, whose stories that you've worked with before that are going to have, that can really tie in with those people that you're talking with. And also, as you can see here, I'm a big Healy fan. These are my Healys that I loan out. And like Stephen had mentioned, and I have other great leaders on my team that have built their business. They just took action. People were waiting when they first came to the business, 45 to 60 days to get their. They grew the business. They without even having the device. It was the tone of their voice that they truly understood this. That the confidence was there, and it was almost like your Healy experience starts with as soon as you learn about Healy and it resonates with you, not just when the product arrives to your doorstep and you first try it. The first time you try it, I'd say, is for the first time that you hear it from someone that is speaking to you with a caring heart, and you having an open mind to receive that information. And once that seed is planted, then it only grows from there. So just because I have a whole bunch of devices here doesn't mean that anyone needs to go out and purchase multiple devices. I grew a nice network over this time with nearly 200 signups with just having one device. And I never could let go of my device. Sure, someone wanted to come over if I was meeting with someone to have them demonstrate the device. But I would never, I use it every single day. So I would not give this to someone to go and take off with for a week. So as you build your business, I would encourage everyone to get another device so people can take it. And I usually try to loan it out for 2 weeks at a time, even though if someone at that time decides to purchase the device, I let them even keep the device for longer because our shipping is now down to a week. So thank you so much for getting things running smoothly right there. I just let them keep going on because after what I've experienced is as they've been using the device for so long, then they don't want to go without it. So that's my experience. So Thank you so much for having me on this call. Let me share. And it's all about duplication. So if we can all do this, we can all share in the 2.5-minute video. And I would encourage all of you as well to take this, whatever video that you feel that sharing with other people, learn to download that video onto your desktop and upload it onto your YouTube channel. And maybe there's some other people on your team that can assist you. That is the process that I've taught. And duplication is teaching people because it's about having content out there in SEO, search engine optimization, to where people can, if we're flooding YouTube more than any frequency device out there, with our professional videos, then we have a better chance of, casting our net wide there. So.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, to share your view with us. I think we all have a very similar understanding on how we see Healy and how doing business. Now, I have to admit, it was great hearing from all three of you, from Sarah, from Stephen, from Ryan, because you're great leaders. You bring great leadership to Healy World, and you can probably inspire a lot of people. But I have to admit, I had an ulterior motive to bring Sarah, Stephen, and Ryan on here. And maybe Ryan and Sarah, you could probably switch on your camera again, because there is something I want to share, not only with you, but with everybody on here. So Sarah, are you still here? Let's just give her 1 second. There she is.
Hi there.
So, my ulterior motive was actually a very good one, because all three of you, I want to congratulate, because all three of you have won 1 year of Porsche Taycan from Healy World, because you won, three of you won our promotion, our Taycan electric car promotion. So 1 for Stephen, 1 for Ryan, and 1 for Sarah. Congratulations to all three of you. And let me clear that up a little bit, because the Taycan promotion was running actually until the end of September, 10 months back, since the 1st of November last year. So the three of you won 3 cars out of a pool of 5, which was available, with having half of the time, like the rest of the world had, to do so. So you did it in half of the time. Ryan and Stephen, you were the top 2 recruiters. So you got each one of the top recruiter Taycans. And Sarah, you were the one, together with Gary van Zandvoort in the Netherlands, who got one of the 2 Taycans for rank advancement, because Sarah, you did your director title in the first months of business in the US. So therefore, this is for you. So congratulations to all of you. We'll get in touch with you on all the details, but congratulations for a great job. Well done. And thank you what you have done so far for Healy World.
Awesome.
Thank you. This is the greatest company in the world.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Really before, yeah, right.
I want to say that to build my dream of building Healy and really having that dedication, I actually went out to the Porsche dealership and took that car for a test drive. And I have that on my YouTube, actually, where I took that Taycan for a test drive. And let me tell you, it's a fun car. And this was a great ulterior motive on this call. So thank you so much.
Awesome.
You're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
You deserved it. You're great leaders and you built a great business. So we have to thank you, actually. So before we close, I have 1, 2, 3 more information for you, because as you know, the Frequency Friday was today the replacement for our online conference we unfortunately could not do, which was the replacement for the live conference we could not do. So we are doing the series of Frequency Fridays. Today was the first one. In 2 weeks, we have the second one on the 6th of November. 20th of November is the third, and on 4th of December, the 4th Frequency Friday. So, but also our incentive is still running to qualify for a trip to Munich, no matter if it's a hotel, if it's hotel and flight, and over 500 Healy World members already qualified. So use this opportunity until the end of November to qualify so that you can come for free to our conference in Munich. We would very much look forward on having you there. So before we close today, because usually on our live conferences, we do our recognition on stage. As this takes a while longer until we will see each other live in person and we can recognize you on stage and hand you your certificate and your pin and everything which comes with it, I at least want to show you some of our qualifiers which qualified for director or higher in the last couple of months. And let's start with the director category. So congratulations to Terry Lee Harrington from Australia, becoming a Healy World Director. Arno Reichel from Austria became Healy World Director. Congratulations to Arno and to Austria. Now we have Olesja Czajka, Director, also from Austria. Congratulations to Olesja. We have Mart Raker from Holland becoming a Director. Pascal Wolsing from Holland becoming a Director as well. And Tanja Thiel from Holland as well, becoming Director of Healy World. And now Sarah Rodriguez. Sarah was with us here on the call. She is with us on the call. Congratulations, dear Sarah. Achieving the Director title in the first months of business is an outstanding achievement. So thank you for everything you have done. Well deserved. And I think we will see many of you American leaders here in the next 2, 3, 4 webinars with new title, with new achievements, as well as Peter Speech. He achieved the Director title very shortly after Sarah did. So congratulations, Peters, with great respect for your achievement. We had Kyoko Kawakubo from Japan achieving Director, and Dr. Stephen Small from the US, also Director. Pleasure, Dr. Steve, congratulations. Terry Perez, my heart goes out to you, Terry. Congratulations also for achieving this great level. And let's jump quickly to Senior Director. Senior Director achievement was done by Ludmila Havova from Austria. So congratulations to Ludmila for her achievement here in Healy World. And now we come to our Vice Presidents. We have quite a few Vice Presidents over time. Gary van Zandvoort from the Netherlands. Congratulations to Netherlands, to Gary for this great achievement. Marcin Baumgart, one of our first leaders, also Vice President in Poland. Congratulations, Marcin. We had Volkan Kurt, one of our Vice Presidents in Germany. Congratulations to Munich, Volkan, for Vice President. And Maximilian Glöckner, Vice President. Also, I cannot even say what country he's, I would say United Arab Emirates, but he's a citizen of the world, always on tour. So congratulations, Max, for Vice President as well. Stefano Libe from Spain, Vice President. Congratulations, dear Stefan, for this achievement. And now, last but not least, here from the Netherlands, Christian Peters, who also achieved the title of Vice President. Now, our highest career level was achieved by 2 individuals being with us from the beginning, having really built Healy World tirelessly. So, Senior President, CCNI is Karsten Lange, our Senior President and Master Distributors. Thank you very much, Karsten, for everything you have done and what you do every day for your team, your structures, and for Healy World. And second of all, Georg Döller. Georg is with us from the beginning, Senior President from Austria, charming man, great networker, has built a great structure and success here in Healy World. So thank you for all of you, everything you have done. And we will see more new titles also coming in the next Frequency Friday webinars and, of course, on stage in our next Healy Around the World conference in Munich in 2022. So thank you very much, Healy World, USA, Thank you very much to all of you listening in today. We see you again on November 6th in 2 weeks, when it's all again Frequency Friday by Healy World. So stay safe, stay happy, stay healthy, and take good care of yourself until we see each other again. Thank you very much and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.